Hello, it's been a while in real time. I've been living some life. Things have been happening. I had to move, which took some patience. And then things just had to like process, and I got really tired. And as much as I like doing this, I'm not gonna force myself to do something if I'm tired and need a break. So that's just what I did. I had to finish a book to get that published. I had to finish a audio drama with a big cast, and addressing all of that was just a process. Suffice to say, I kind of like lost touch with where I'm at right this second. So I remember, at the very least, I'm currently in the process of making some Rathlos armor. So let's go do that. That's really what I've been doing. So I might as well warm up. Return to the series. I was going to be hunting a bunch of Yenmo Ran, right? But for whatever reason, that just didn't work out. I think it was just the consistency of it wasn't high enough for it to be really worth it for me. Give me a second. I'm just gonna. Which one of these buttons? There we go. Just wanted to move in my armrest a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, my success rate of the Endo Ran was not crazy high. So I just kind of, hey, Twin Peaks, that's funny. I've actually just recently been watching Twin Peaks. Part of the break that I've been taking involved watching the first 2 seasons of Twin Peaks. I haven't even checked my inventory. Looks fine. So I've done that, and then just a lot of Rathlos hunting before I took a break, and more Rathlos hunting then. And when I thought, hey, things are calming down enough, let's go and get back to recording, because I want to finish this, and I actually want to get over to playing Dark Cloud 2, but I guess I should play Dark Cloud 1, so I should more accurately say I want to go play Dark Cloud. Besides the point. When I went to go get back to that, Dawn Trail released out of nowhere, which, if you're not in the loop, is an expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, which I'm a really big fan of. So I've been losing some time to that. But it worked out in a really kind of like unfortunate way where I had the opportunity pop up to move into a bigger unit in my apartment building, so more or less keep everything the same, but just get more space and, go up a few floors and stuff like that. And it was kind of long overdue because I've been in a 1-bedroom apartment for I think 7 years, my wife was saying. And when you're in it, you're just kind of bunkering down, and you get used to it. Every now and then you think of what more space could be like, and you cry a little bit, but it goes away. The issue there, and just, I guess, we stopped being able to look away, and the space became tumultuous, which I agreed with. Like, it was getting tough to live in a one-bedroom apartment, recording especially, because if anything else was going on, it was kind of something that demanded the presence of the room, so to speak. So the opportunity came up to move upstairs, and we jumped right on it, and it went really, really quick. It wasn't like a matter of ooh, there's a song right there, of like, okay, we get it, and then we're gonna go in like a month or something like that. It was like, okay, we got it, and then maybe 3 days later we were packing and moving our stuff over. And the thing is, like, when you're normally moving, right, you're in a situation where whether you have a long way to go or a short way to go, there tends to be a break in the middle, right? where you're like driving stuff between locations or whatever. Like if you're moving it yourself, presuming you haven't hired a service, which I swore that I was going to do. Where the heck is this guy? Do I have a psycho serum on me? No. So yeah, anyways. Usually you have this break. When you're moving the same building, you don't. There's no sit here for a little bit while we get to the other spot. You're at the other spot, you just have to go upstairs. So it was probably one of the most exhausting moves I've ever done, just because both me and my wife are very intense people. We tend to just like give her until it's gone. So we took the move very seriously, and I was working through it, and then helping move whenever I had an open opportunity. And then my wife was just giving her. So it was quite an involved amount of time. And you get exhausted really quick because there's a few flights of stairs, and you know, as soon as you start packing your stuff, you feel a little unsettled, right? And I'm more so than a lot of people. I take a lot of time to recover from stuff like that. I It's a weird combination because I'm pretty good at change. Like I can adapt to new things really well, and I can excel in different systems, and that's fine. But I definitely need to accommodate processing time, whether I want it or not. I am having the worst luck finding this Rathlos. Yeah, oh well. I mean, I have most of the set. I think I just need the waist and the head. And arguably, this is some grinding that like I could just do on my own, but I figure, let's test everything, because again, yeah, I had to move, so I had to redo my entire setup, redo my desk. If you haven't got a sense of that, this is just gonna be a video full of complaining. But it was a process to get it all up. And then when we knew we were gonna move into a new space, that meant getting a second room, like a before one bedroom, so very limited space. And that meant for many years, my desk that I did personal work at and did my professional work at, my job, was like just a desk in the corner, a not particularly large desk. It was fine. It served me really, really well. But when I had room, we realized like, oh, okay, I should probably upgrade, and we should do it. I should do it right away, because there's no point bringing up an old desk, selling that later, having to bring it back down to bring something new up. We should just bring something new up right away, get it into the room immediately. Hey, nice, finally found them, or you found me more accurately. Oh, and well, I'm gonna have to chase them down. But yeah, you know, that type of situation. Made more sense to get a new desk. So I got a new desk. And that meant, you know, the previous situation I had for my mic wasn't applicable anymore. It straight up didn't fit. So I had to try something else. And unfortunately, that didn't work because I have a Shure MV7. That's the mic I'm using, and it's not like crazy, but it is heavy. It's heavy by the standard of like a lot of weighted bases for desktop things. So even though, and it could just be I had a boom mic arm on it too, right? So it's telescoping over its center of gravity. But either way, the position where I needed it and not having it rattled by my keyboard or hands on playing a controller or something like that, it wasn't going to work. It tipped. So I'm giving that to a buddy. And then I was like, oh, wait, I have a new desk. I can just get a mic arm. Because before I had a standing tripod next to my desk that I put a boom mic arm on so I could telescope it to my face. And I'm not going to lie, it didn't look very elegant, but it gave me a really large degree of maneuverability. So I could set something up that was cool. That being said, the reason I didn't have a mic arm on the other desk was because it was very thick, so none of those like clamps would work. And I could install a grommet, like, you know, I own the desk, I have a screwdriver, I could have done that. But the main reason that I didn't was just because it, sorry, my phone there. I had this drawer right under the main desk. There's like 2 big pull-out drawers, and I didn't want to risk putting 2 holes in or putting screws in, even if it's just like, you know, the back of a bolt or something flush. Does it prevent the drawer from opening and closing? Will it hit things that are in the drawer? You know, I probably could have installed it now that I'm thinking back on it. But either way, I didn't. So suffice to say, now I have a very nice mic arm. I decided to splurge, and now that it fits on a desk, I have something that like can fit a C clamp. So I got something that was half decent, and it lets me like hide all the cables, and it has a full swivel, and it's very tall, and it's very maneuverable. So it's a lovely thing. It's also the first time I'm recording using it. Whew. So hopefully when I go and pull up my editing software, I'm not like, oh my god, why? What happened here? Because I tried another setting. Here's the thing, right? There's 1,000 ways to set up a mic. There's maybe half as many good ways to set up a mic. And a lot of what those options are depend on the room you're in, the ambient sound of the space, the quality of the mic, the directionality of it, and blah, 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 right? So I didn't automatically assume that my old settings were going to work. I did some tests, and it seems okay. I tried to play around with my settings with the other setup, because, you know, I hate buying a thing and then immediately having to get rid of it. And so I tried to use this like weighted desk stand for the mic, but when I set my mic, and this is maybe just a Shure MV7 thing, I've read like complaints that some folks find it too quiet in some cases. I think it's because it's designed to be used so close up. So when I set it to try and be like 2 feet away from my face in a position that worked for the old stand, yeah, it sounded echoey and awful, and it just didn't handle that type of distance very well. Like, it could if you were in a studio environment that was really quiet and really pristine. I could see you tuning it so it'd work. But for me, nah, it was just a huge audio loss. I could immediately hear it. It's like one of those things where it just grates your skin, and you're like, oh god, why? Hey, there we go. I'm really going for a plate. Who isn't when you're hunting a Rathalos? Scale plus is fine. We need a little bit more of everything, but to finish, I think we need a plate. Yeah, and you know, it's funny, in between now and my last video, I think we've had the announcement for Monster Hunter Wilds, which is, I admit, like a bit of a motivator to get my butt through the series. Even though it's funny because I want to play a non-Monster Hunter game after this, you know, like take a break with some RPGs. Because when I went back and I did Mega Man Legends, that's actually one of my favorite series that I got to do. And it's funny because I kind of like skipped some of the side content that makes those games so charming, and it didn't affect at all the experience I had. Like, I really just wanted to beat those games because they were so out of grasp when I was younger, and I was really glad to get to do it. And I kind of feel the same way about Dark Cloud. Like, there's some of these massive RPGs that I think tons of people have started and maybe they haven't finished, and it really makes me, like, as silly as it is, kind of proud to be able to finish something that is so hulking. Like, finishing Legend of Dragoon was such a tremendous accomplishment because that's a big old PS1 game, right? Like it's a classic honker. There are longer games, absolutely, and there are games that you can make longer, right? We all have those options. Some games we play because they're long, like I play, like I mentioned, a lot of Final Fantasy 14, and one of the biggest appeals of the game is that there's just an absolutely ridiculous amount of content, especially for someone who's like a relatively new player, because I joined 14 when Shadowbringers was finished, so I had been playing for a handful of weeks when Endwalker release happened. I am by no means like some old veteran of the game. I'm a veteran of the series. I literally have been reading Final Fantasy games since I've been reading. Arguably, they are one of the reasons that I can read, even beyond just preferring to do it. Because like those early Super Nintendo games, they didn't have voice acting. Okay, that's actually, it's a silly thing and it ages me, right? But to this day, I am still impressed when a video game has voice acting at all. Not even like good voice acting, just like, oh man, these characters are talking, that's cool. Like it's still at core impressive, which is silly because like some people get really persnickety about voice acting, and I'm not going to say it's not an art. I absolutely think it is. It's a discipline and an art, and a way to express yourself. That's awesome and beautiful. But I'm not as picky, I guess, as other people are. So sometimes they'll be like, oh, I didn't believe that character at all. That was awful. That was horrible voice acting. You know, this game is great, but just close your ears when they're talking. And then I'll go and listen to these people talking, and then I guess it's just like, to me, it's just like, this just sounds like voices. It just sounds like normal people having words, you know? Maybe the differentiator there is that I'm not really in love with regularly hearing people. So maybe it's just like, it's so indistinct to me because it's just like, yeah, it just sounds like the garbled noises that a mouth makes. What are you talking about? Like, that's really, for me, as far as it goes. Although I would say that being picky in general is something that I try not to be. There's some things that I don't like, and I think there's a clear differentiation there between just being picky and genuinely disliking something. It is a fine line. I will be the first person to admit that. But it exists. I have no idea how this fight is going. I'm kind of just like going with the flow. I'm doing, as the kids say, vibing. And I'm so far away from that, but like slaying has always made me feel like an outsider. And the thing is slaying is just designed to make you feel like an outsider, right? Like that's the intention. It creates this vernacular that only the in-group knows. It acts as an identifier. The correct usage of it is a stamp of approval and that you fit in. And all of those things, that's just normal human behavior. Any sociologist can tell you that type of behavior, it repeats, and it repeats in ways that, like, in time, sometimes people will think sounds cool, and then 20 years later, you'll look back and it's like, that's silly, it's dumb, why would anyone do that? And that's basically been all of human history. Like, linguistically, that just keeps on repeating itself as a habit. But that's not all that significant. It's the intention point I'm making is that it's designed to do that, and it always has been designed to oust people who don't fit in and don't know the customs. You know, whatever those customs are, they don't have to be modern, polite manners. They could be, you know, the manners of a horribly elitist group or some sort of prejudice, right? But it's about knowing the terms and how to talk, and that makes you one of them. And I've never been good at that, because I guess I'm just not that tuned in socially. Like, I don't really care that much for external validation. So I've never been like, oh, I gotta talk a certain way to make sure that somebody really likes me or thinks I'm cool. Like, that's just not, it's not significant. It's not important. I have fallen into the trap of ironically using slang words, like, incorrectly. And then you do that for so long that it becomes a normal way of talking. And then every now and then you'll hear some, like some slang that kind of just adds a convenient shortcut to a sentiment. Like, I actually like the modern term, it gives X, whatever it is, you know, it gives minimum wage, it gives whatever. Like, this is the slang as I believe it's implemented. God, I sound old there. But that's how it's used, I believe. And I find it's really useful because when you're trying to write that sentiment, it would be like, this gives a impression of this, or I have a reaction like this based on this content, and it gives whatever, just lets you kind of skip those extra words and jump right to the critique or the feedback you want to leverage, which is actually really useful. Funny enough, I've used it in a very corporate environment, like humorously, but I've explained like, this request very much gives like, let me Google that for you. And I think that's a funny way to express something. I don't know, like, it can be polite. I don't think it's largely used to be polite, you know? But who am I to say? And then that's probably even considered old by now, right? Like, the new generation is further ahead. I've heard some weird stuff, but the reason I'm talking about it is because even the slang of my generation, right? I didn't really know how to use that when it was popular. And even like, I was very much like someone's dad. Like, they would explain it to me and I would just, I don't know, like, it didn't click. And so I was always kind of an outsider from that perspective, because I couldn't sound like my peers. And now when it comes to modern slang, I am like 7 or 8 generations out of what's popular, what's getting said. But it's weird to realize that, like, it probably wouldn't have mattered when I was born when it comes to fitting in, because I look at how things are now, right? I'm like, no, I wouldn't have connected with this crowd either. So maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm hoping we can get something like a plate in this run, just because it would be really cool to get that on camera. And really convenient, too. Presuming I am recording, right? Like, that would suck if I wasn't. I'll check in a second here. Oop. Oh, yeah. Can't have just be talking to myself for a bunch of time for no reason at all without recording it. Much more insane. If I had like all day, right, and I didn't have to work, I think I would love to do like a stalker let's play on top of whatever I'm doing right now. That game's just fun. I would probably play God, what's the mod that like merges a bunch of the games? Like, that's more my vibe. It's probably what I would do, but it's not Gamma, it's the version the Gamma mods. And then just as well, I do eventually want to do a Fallout 3 and New Vegas Let's Play. And I merged them together because my version of the game is merged together. I have Tale of Two Wastelands. And it kind of like just inherently merges the game and makes some lore changes. I don't know. Some people are really persnickety about lore. But I also find a lot of people that are persnickety about lore are really bad at understanding lore. So they'll be like, oh, this makes no sense at all. But in reality, it might make tons of sense. They're just like failing to interpret it. Or they don't like it. Like, you can interpret something and then not like the result, but that doesn't make it bad. And I would say that's probably one of like the clear failures of society right now, is that we can't mutually accept something is well done, but not for us. Like I mentioned, I was watching Twin Peaks recently, and I came to like it. I eventually enjoyed what I was watching, but I would completely disagree with anyone that says the first few episodes of the season 1 are any good. Like, I'm not new to weird and surrealist media. You know, like all those things. I'm happy to read books that mess with my brain just as well. And I think what season 1 of Twin Peaks suffered from wasn't its fault, but it didn't matter because I was the one watching it. So the issue with that was that I've seen so many of the things that inspired it or have been inspired by it that it itself didn't seem that unique. Probably just because I've seen it elsewhere, but I found it a little bit too much. Like, I don't know. It just went really ham on the weird, inexplicable shit is happening, and everyone's whispering to each other and stuff like that. I think maybe now that I know what's going on, I could change that opinion if I go back and look, right? Maybe that's something that's worth doing. But yeah, I enjoyed, you know, the rest of Twin Peaks, but I just didn't enjoy season 1. I can understand that, like, somebody who is maybe more interested in really dramatic character play would be more interested in it, but I just didn't know where I was supposed to pay attention, I guess, and that's intentional. But oh, okay, off this way. Oh, I feel like I should probably go back. I don't even know if it'll have rations for me. Might have a paintball. Oh, right. I went back to the wrong spot. Ha 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 ha. My fault for trying to look at my phone. I'm just setting it up to charge. I grabbed one of those wireless charging stands for my phone. I've really largely been hesitant about the wireless charging fad. But now I have to accept that it's not some killer of phones like my paranoia with technology would have convinced me it is. It's largely fine. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention this because I'm just like blurbing while I get back into the habit of recording. So if you have Wi-Fi issues at your house, I wholly recommend getting a mesh Wi-Fi system. I've recently bought and installed one. I didn't even spend much. I spent like $100 Canadian. So I went pretty entry level for something just to test it out. And even that entry level product is tremendous. It's one of the better Wi-Fi experiences I've ever had. But what really impresses me is like the way these nodes work. So compared to like traditional Wi-Fi where you have your router or modem that, depending on how you get internet into your house, comes in through fiber optic or cable, and depending on your ISP. But that usually is the box that kicks out the Wi-Fi. And a lot of the devices that you're going to get for free with your package from your internet provider probably aren't going to be like tremendously high quality devices. So it's not uncommon to have range issues in other rooms, different floors, and stuff like that. The main issue is that you have this one node, and most people don't perfectly center them in their houses, so it's off the center, and it's kicking out like a circle around it of the actual bands of Wi-Fi. Your 5G is closest, or whatever, and then your 2.5 is further, goes further away, but it's not as strong. The benefit of these nodes is that you can set them up in different places throughout your house, and they will independently kick out these signals. So you have a coverage that's based on multiple different languages, kind of putting out these circles of connection, you can think of it. Kind of hear something, but either way, what's really, really impressive to me about this mesh Wi-Fi system is that through some sort of like wizardry, the individual nodes, so like the main one hooks up to your modem and router and it kind of kicks off a second signal, creates its own network and stuff, but that's what it does. The Wi-Fi like second node just plugs into power, but it is such a strong connection to the main one that it can give out Ethernet. So it's a wireless delivery system that you can like plug Ethernet into, and your systems will get fantastic internet. Like, how crazy is that to have such a wireless signal that is so strong? You can wire devices to a wireless device. It just sounds like lies and sci-fi nonsense to me, but I have it, it's real, and I have entry-level stuff. I can't imagine what a really high-level system in an environment with really fast internet would be capable of. I'm sure it'd be really impressive. The reality of it is I don't have an infrastructure in my like apartment that can even support really more than gigabyte internet. I have never actually fully gotten my gigabyte speed. I get 950 megabytes per second if I'm like really lucky. Now again, that's like a vanity complaint because let's be honest, if you know the stats around internet connectivity, what I'm talking about is upper percentile, get off your high horse type of thing, because it's such a ridiculous thing. Like, oh, I can't get 1,000 gigabytes down. I only have 950. Whereas some people barely get 25. Some people are just happy to get 75 as a top speed, and that feels quite fast comparatively. So it's all about perspective. I have been spoiled, and then, you know, working in and around tech, you end up with high expectations. I thought since he was limping, he was totally going to come here. Maybe I'm just like crazy. Okay, well, my hopeful thinking was too hopeful. He was limping though, so I don't know. I guess he just doesn't feel like it right now. Yeah, this is really kind of one of the reasons that I needed a break a little bit, because it was just Monster Hunter, especially the old stuff, can be so grindy. There's really no guarantee that you're ever gonna have a consistent go of it. Watch, he's now all the way in that place that I just left or something. Yeah, and I never really, like, when I was young, I wasn't great at statistics. I am marginally better now, but back then I really wasn't good. And I didn't really understand probability nearly as well as I thought I did. So when I was playing games like this, I would see something like, oh, it has a 5% chance. Nice. Of dropping something like a ruby or a plate. And I would think, okay, well, if I just go 5 and then see how many, it takes to get to up to 100, that's how many times I need to do it to statistically guarantee I get it. And then I would do something like twice the amount. And I was like, what the heck? Why hasn't it happened? It should have happened by now. And I guess it's not the reality of it, right? It's like, I think a lot of us falsely attribute this like increase of likelihood. Oh man, I'm just getting just demolished here. What the heck? Oh, that's Monster Hunter for you right there. I don't really know what to make of that. Okay. Rough day. Rough day in the office. I'm just hoping he stayed there, so when I go back, all is well, but... Great. Another charged headshot time. Oh, this is a little out of range. Darn it. Yeah, I'm hoping he's close to the end here, but who's to say? He's obviously in a rage. There we go. Oh, wrong button. Always sometimes. Always sometimes. This is true. I do always sometimes try and skip that cutscene, and the only times I don't is when I forget. All these things are fine. Chances of carving a plate are low, so it's all fine. Just add into the bucket of stuff I need. I'm kind of tempted to go give it a go on the quest that I'm supposed to be doing right now, story-wise. Just seeing maybe if I can truck on through or if I'm gonna fail horrendously. Always fun times, right? At least I think so. All right, doesn't look like anything special here. Wing, medulla, that's actually decent. I think we needed that, but nah, that's about it. No plates, no rubies. The biggest one or something? I don't know, whatever that was. So you can see here our issue, right? If I'm going for the head, I need the ruby. I have everything else, which is nice. And if I'm going for the waist, I need oh, I already have a plate. What? Did I carve a plate? I just didn't see it. I don't know, whatever. I got a plate, I guess. So I need a ruby now. Ah, what do you know? I didn't just get that, right? No. What? Okay. I'm crazy. Who knows what's what? Okay. I'm just gonna go get some water because it's like a heat wave right now. So I'll be right back. All right, we have like a few moments left here, so let's find something to do. Right, I was gonna try the brachydios or whatever. All right, really quickly, let's just go see if I can be lazy. Oh. Okay, great, I did the right thing. Hi. Darn, I was hoping yous would have a paintball. That's okay. I think it's still possible to get some networking stuff set up for this, but who knows? Like, okay, it's very possible. I'm sure you could set up a LAN tunnel or something like that, or find some method to make it work. Oh, hey, nice. I'm glad. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm out of paintballs. Huh. I wonder, was I doing that in the farm? I bought a bunch of buzzy bees. But this is not... Yeah, that's fine. Okay, whatever. I guess we're just gonna go give it a go blind. Let's take the defender. Ooh, no. Okay. Bracadios. Uasa, tell me about new monster, Bracadios. So I seek it out a volcano, very big monster, very violent, very kawaii. Kawaii means scary. It's okay, it's clearly not kawaii. Kawaii means scary. You go on for yourself. You hear its dogon, may I bring extra dry britches. Alright, so the guy thinks I'm gonna crap my pants. I mean, it's on the table. Bracadios is... Well, he isn't anything to shake a finger at, that's for sure. We're probably gonna get a cutscene. I haven't fought old Bracadios for a long time, so this might not go well. Obviously, the last time would have been when they brought him over to Iceborne. Yeah, I like how I'm like, oh, let's do something quick and then cue a late game fight that may well take just as long, if not longer, than that Rathalos hunt. It's like, what am I thinking? Hey, here we go. I just figured we had to get a cutscene. Alright, so here's Bracadios' resume. It explodes. There you go. You've seen its resume. It actually is some pretty sick gear, surprising no one. Darn, that was telegraphed from 10 miles away and I still ran into it. Nope. Bad time to try and turn my volume down for a sec. Oh no. So I think the big thing when you're covered and stuff like this is not get hits, which is usually always your goal in Monster Hunter. So strategy wise is just not getting hit with a different brand name. But I think if you do, you explode and it deals extra damage. Like that. Ow. No, it wasn't even a unique item. Geez, the only time I'll be happy about random volcanic explosions, that one saved me from a worse fate. Cool. Oh no, I want off this lava stuff, please. Thank you. Oh. Well, all right. That sucks that I missed my charge hit, but that's why in old gen I don't tend to do them. I just find they like they're designed for you to catch things, not punish them directly. What I mean by that is like you can punish, but if you just wait for something to slow down and then try and do a charge, for the most part it's timed out where it'll be finishing at the moment of that final charge. Oh, okay, wow, I didn't realize that's what was going to happen. Definitely a monster you really don't want to be in the front of. Which no doubt sucks because that's probably where the most damage is, right? We all know how it works. Yeah, I'm feeling it right now, not intentionally. This has been happening a fair amount lately, but I just haven't been sleeping very well. By well, I mean pretty much at all. And nothing's really wrong, it's just the heat. The issue is I'm Canadian, so any heat at all is kind of an unwelcome element of my environment. I'm not built for it, and that makes a big difference because I just don't I don't have a life infrastructure that's set up for this like crazy heat. So I've been suffering. I've really been sleeping bad. This morning, when I woke up, I say woke up, got out of bed. I probably only slept 2 hours, if that. And then I was up at 5 a.m. to help my wife go to work. Which I was happy to do. That's not an issue. It's just, no. You feel that lack of sleep. Especially when you have to get up and do stuff. And you know, I have a dog, so it's kind of like, once you're up, you're up. You can sometimes go back to sleep. Like I cuddled my dog for a little bit, and that was good. But he wanted to get up after a little bit. Oh, okay. I was hoping it'd just be worth it, but I didn't get hit, so I guess it was. That being said, ooh, I have no expectation of winning, but if I can pull out a victory, I'll be pretty pleased. That gets me ahead of all the stuff I need to have done. Oh, I was going to try and block that, but what am I supposed to do in that situation? Definitely a guy you kind of want to like box with Brachydios. I'm finding that's what I'm having the most success with. If you give him room, he's gonna go for these crazy lunges and strikes and kind of like explosion-y things, and that's no good. But yeah, anything else, solid. Yeah, like this back zone, pretty great. Where I was just then, getting slugged, that's where you don't want to be. Okay. What are we up to, Brachydios? You tell me, buddy. We're playing your game here. Actually, I lied. The cooling effect for my drink wore off, so I'm gonna be right back. Okay, bro? Okay, thank you. BRB. All right. God, I hope it doesn't reflect too badly on the fact that I'm like yawning through a bunch of videos. I'm always so tired sometimes, man. It's life is tough. And I don't even like, I have a fur child. He's my corgi, but you know, I recognize that that's not a human child, and there are some things that I get to get away with because he's not a human that if you have a human child, you cannot get away with. At least you shouldn't try to. So while I totally like feel like, you know, there are some stresses added to my life from his management, I don't consider it level or equal with human children. There are moments, and you can love something the same amount. I just don't think it's a the responsibility bears the same amount of work type of thing. It can be close, but children just have to be good humans, so it's tough. Anyways, I don't have kids, and then I think about how tired I am and how exhausted folks who do have kids must be. Jeez. I'm glad that's not my my life. Although just as well, I guess I don't understand folks who are having kids in this day and age, because this is very much life in a frying pan, right? Like, we can't deny that's the world we're living in, and it's the world that probably isn't going to get any better. I'm sure there's some like very rich people who are like, oh, whatever happens to the world, I'll be fine. But for everybody else, I can't say I understand the motivation. Even though, you know, obviously I guess there's some benefits and family and stuff is neat. Oh no, I died. That's fine. Yeah, I really, like I said, I can't act surprised because I'm like trying to fight to stay asleep. Being up at 5 a.m. just killed me. Oh, especially just after a series of not sleeping well. Hasn't happened for a while, so blah. A few days out. I have to get through a week. I have to get through a Thursday. And then it's done. So the time that this video comes out, I should be pretty darn tootin' close to it all being better. And that's how I'll phrase it to myself. Hey, nice supplies. If I die again, I can get some stuff. I think he was here, right? Is this where we are fighting? Is it up here? Am I crazy? I may be the crazy. I don't know. Okay. This is what psycho serums are for. I'm glad I did that too. I was going to go the wrong direction. I would have been like, ah, maybe he has gone down. But no, he hasn't. He's so dramatically colored compared to the rest of his environment, though. The blue and green is very standout. It's very eccentric. It's not a bad thing. All right. Back in the throttle. You gonna jump on me? Yeah, okay, you can do that, bro. I'll just follow you over here. Get some great hits. I should paintball you. Wow, that worked out. Wow, a lot of wyvern tears. Like, that's fine. It's just interesting is all. Let's see if we can get a good charge on this guy. Ah, that would have been a great tail hit. Okay, what's the game plan, man? How are we doing? You're all green now, which means... Like, the thing is with Brachydios is his, the green stuff is like an explosive mucus that responds with thermodynamic energy as a result of kinetic energy. So that's why he punches stuff to make explosions. little bit into this now, so it's entirely possible that we're doing good enough to warrant a tail cut, if nothing else. Let's make it work. Come on. Ah. Darn. I don't want to die again, but I might. Oh, that's nice. It's a shame that blowing up the thing in his head doesn't stop that big fancy move. Ah, darn it. Nice. Yeah, not my favorite position to be in, like this far in front of him, because he gets to do these crazy jump attacks. But what can you do sometimes? Oh no. Some tight combat here. I love moments like this though in Monster Hunter. It's always the best when you feel yourself getting quiet. You're like, oh no. Not Renoblos cancel. Let's immediately knock him back down and get back into it. Yeah, oh, okay. I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm not up front. Now look at this spammy, oh, I'm just gonna keep on casting fireball at you type tactic right now. Oh. A little too far with the camera there. I forgot how slippy it is in third ultimate. Like, you really gotta nudge this camera, because if you just go flat out, it is going to go full speed mode. Oh god. That was the best I could hope for in that situation, and it was perfect. I'm so pleased. Darn it. Not pleased with that. But as mentioned before, if I have to die, go back and get supplies, and try and do this on my third cart, that's fine by me, because I didn't expect to get close to winning on this fight anyways. It was just kind of a Hail Mary to progress. Maybe a bad time to use my cooling thing, but whatever. Oh, wow, that was cool. Oh, nice. It's actually limping. That's cool. All right. Well, now I got to be extra careful. That poor thing. Can I get lucky with my charge hit? Yes. I can carve a tail, or get the tail of the Brachydios. Get a bunch of solid hits in right here. If we can knock it down, we could get some really good damage in here. That's what we're looking for. Come on. Now this is a scary time because raging Brachydios, honestly, brutal. But that's a good end. I found that to work pretty well. Okay, another good end. Oh, not worth it. Got slugged in the face. Did my heal make me take a hit? It could have, but it didn't. Oh, that was a dumb move, though. Okay. Bro. Okay, this is a good move because it gives me a second to heal at the end of it here. Using all the items I brought, though, always a nice sign. You know, I needed what I brought, I guess. Jeez. Got like no stamina for this. Nice. Yes. Okay. Wow. I really didn't expect to be able to do that. So, like, a little bit of a long video. That's fine by me. We got the Brachydios. And I have to review what that means for me, completion-wise. I have to run over there and get that tail right away, too. But, that's definitely a required quest to progress out of this rank. So, to get that is really lovely. All right. Yeah, no, I'm pumped. I'm immediately awake again. I just didn't think that was gonna go as smoothly as it did. I mean, like, I died. I took some hits. I used some items, but more than less. I'm unscathed. All right. Let's see. Care Space, Shell, Scalp, Slime, Carbolites. Nice. Oh my god, I got so much stuff. All right. Oh, Hunter, we spotted another monster roaming at night. It's the Brachydios, believe it or not. Oh, okay. Yo, good. You just reminded me. Anyone ever told you about slime-based weapons? Weapons with that element will gradually slimify, that's the clinical term, slimify your opponents. When the slime value hits critical slime down, you'll trigger an explosion that damages the monster and its parts. And that ain't all. You can whittle down the part's durability in the process. Less durable means more smashable. Oh, and I heard it through the needleberry vine that slime is just the ticket for monsters with rigid defenses. Not bad, eh? Where do I get me some prime slime, you're thinking? Well, with the right materials and a little cash, I can make you a slime weapon right now. Can you? Looks like you can. The Brachydios weapon is sick. Can we see any of the armor yet? It's just cool. Yeah. Very, like, Gundam, if you ask me. Look at that. Look at how cool that is. I mean, we can't build none of it, but that's not important. Anyways. I think I had upgraded this Rathlos gear a little bit too, so it's like all at 60, which is about 20 better than the Helio stuff that we're wearing. So that's pretty solid. Is there anyone else here who has anything to say to me now that I've beat that Brachydios? Good job hunting down that Brachydios. Hey, did you know that loads and loads of slime mold live on the Brachydios skin? Apparently, the monster uses the slime to unleash spectacular explosions. Who knew slime molds were so volatile? Say again, you wish I had told you that sooner? Oh, relax. It's not like you died or anything. Alright, so I don't know what's left. Probably the Duramboros, but that's going to be this episode. Definitely thanks for checking it out and coming back after a hiatus for me, unless you're just watching it sequentially, in which case I'm talking about nonsense. Suffice to say, hope you have a good one wherever you are. I'll see you around. Bye.